Good morning, I'm David Chaston with 90 at 9, brought to you by interest.co.nz. This is where you get everything you need to know in 90 seconds at 9 o'clock, with news the US Fed has hiked its policy rate as expected. But first, data out of the US has underwhelmed. Firstly, inflation in May has come in lower than expected and lower than for April at 1.9%. Falls in energy costs drove this outcome. Without food or energy, the data would have been even lower at 1.7%, with the price of used cars and trucks weighing on that result. Also weak was the data for retail sales. Their advance estimate showed a decrease of 0.3%, coming off a rise of 0.4% in April. Despite this data, the US Fed has gone ahead and raised its benchmark interest rate by 0.25%. That takes it to 1.25%, its highest level since 2008. They said continued American economic growth and job market strength was why they moved now, and they announced that they would begin cutting their holdings of bonds and other securities this year. It is a vote of confidence in the immediate future, one reinforced by the Atlanta Fed's GDP Now real-time indicator that predicts that second quarter growth in the US economy will exceed 3.2%. Markets are not quite sure what to make of today's Fed action and the background data. Equities are drifting lower, benchmark bond yields took a tumble, and the US dollar fell. Of course, some of this reaction may be due to the Washington shooting. In China, they have a new program to cut their fertilizer use by 20% by 2020. Apparently, the issues of overuse are serious and affecting the quality of their fruit and vegetable output. The Chinese also have a program to cut their monetary fertilizer. They announced that their M2 money supply grew by 9.6% in May, an unexpectedly low growth rate. They went on to say, get used to the lower growth rates in the future. In the EU, their top court has banned companies marketing dairy alternatives using dairy-type names for their products. Plant-based products can now no longer be marketed as dairy, in a straight reinforcement of truth in advertising principles. And staying in Europe, applications to study at British universities have slumped 7% following Brexit, breaking 10 years of growth. And the expectation is that they will fall very sharply from here on in, down another 50% or more, they think. In Australia, and in a legal battle lasting 8 years, Air New Zealand has finally been found guilty of price-fixing freight rates and fees from Hong Kong and Singapore into Australia. It was the last of 15 airlines the Aussies prosecuted over this type of collusion. In New York, the US Treasury 10-year yield is sharply lower today at 2.15%. The price of oil has slumped overnight to just over $44.50 a barrel, while the Brent benchmark is now just over $47. Overnight, the IEA said the global oil glut is here to stay through 2017, despite OPEC's efforts to restrain production, which they see as largely unsuccessful. The price of gold, however, is unchanged at $1,267 an ounce, and the Kiwi dollar was sharply higher this morning, and at one stage was over 73 US cents, although now it's back to 72.6 US cents. On the cross rates, we're at 95.7 Aussie cents and 64.7 Euro cents. The TWI is at 76.7. I'm David Chaston. That was 90 at 9, brought to you by interest.co.nz.